Let me tell you about a problem I see all the time. High performers who are also toxic. On paper, they look amazing. They hit their goals, they bring in the big wins. Maybe they even know things that nobody else does. But behind the scenes, they drain the life out of everybody around them. Coworkers avoid them, morale tanks, and eventually your best people just walk out the door. After 15 years in HR, across sales, service, manufacturing, and tech driven environments, I've seen this story play out over and over. Toxic high performers, they trick leaders. They make you think we can't afford to lose them, but the truth is you can't afford to let them run wild. So how do you handle it without losing your best people? Let's go ahead and break it down here. First, stop focusing only on results. I know it's tempting. They're the top sales rep, the fastest technician, or the accountant who never misses a deadline. But if the way they work is driving everybody else away, it's not success. It's damage in disguise. I knew a rep once who was a rainmaker, always blew past the quota, but he'd badmouth the customer service team to clients when things went wrong. Two great customer service reps quit within months because they were tired of being blamed for his mistakes. His sales numbers looked great, but the turnover and the customer complaints outweighed it all. I also had a machine operator one time in manufacturing who could run any line at record speed, but he refused to train new hires and he snapped at anybody who asked questions. On paper, he was irreplaceable. In reality, every time he called off, production slowed down because nobody else was cross-trained. That's not a star, it's a bottleneck. Next, you've got to be clear on the impact. It's not enough to say they're toxic. You've got to connect their behavior to the business outcomes. I had a brilliant accountant who closed the books faster than anybody, but she rolled her eyes in meetings, she dismissed colleagues' questions. The junior staff stopped speaking up, which meant small errors got missed. The star accountant's speed came at the cost of accuracy, and the company nearly faced an audit issue because nobody caught the mistakes early. I also had a mechanical engineer that I worked with that could design solutions more quickly than any of the other mechanical engineers, but he bulldozed teammates. He'd shoot down ideas before they even got off the ground. After a while, the younger engineers just stopped contributing. The result? Innovation stalled, and we lost months of potential improvements. See, when you connect behavior to turnover, lost productivity, or client risk, it stops being about the personality and it becomes about business performance. Now comes the hard part, the actual conversation. This is where leaders oftentimes freeze. They think, if I call them out, they'll quit. But here's the reality. If you don't act, your best people might. When you sit down with them, be direct but fair. Say, your results are strong, but the way you're treating people is creating problems. Both matter here. I watched a manager sit down with a high-performing customer service team lead who was sharp with customers but rude to her own team. He told her, your numbers are strong, but your approach is driving turnover. We've lost 2 solid customer service reps this quarter, and the common theme in their exit interviews is you. She didn't love hearing it, but it landed because he tied her behavior directly to the business outcomes. But one talk isn't going to cut it. You've got to set expectations and you have to follow through. You have to lay it out clearly. We expect collaboration. We expect respect. Then check in. Don't let it slide because toxic high performers, they're going to test you. They'll behave for a week, then slip right back, waiting to see if you're actually going to enforce it. We had a top delivery driver who consistently finished routes faster than anybody else, but he skipped his safety checks and he mocked coworkers who followed the safety protocol. His leadership team addressed it once, but then he went right back to his old habits. Only after regular follow-ups and tying his bonus to safety in addition to speed did his behavior start to stick. And finally, be ready to make the call. Some toxic high performers, they just won't change. They've been rewarded for years, and they don't see a reason to adjust. At a service organization that I worked at once, a top revenue producer was also the most toxic employee. She belittled coworkers, she refused to share information, and she really created a hostile environment. Leadership kept her around because she brought in the money. But within 18 months, they lost 6 solid team members. And long term clients started complaining about her attitude. When they finally let her go, the department actually outperformed the very next quarter. It turns out the rest of the team really had been holding back under her shadow. Once she was gone, their collaboration shot up, their morale improved, and the clients ended up noticing the difference. Here's the bottom line: success isn't just about what someone delivers, it's about how they deliver it. A toxic high performer might look like an asset, but if they're draining your culture, they're really just a liability. Hold them accountable for both results and behavior. And if they won't change, don't be afraid to make the call, because your best people won't leave because of the work. They're going to leave because you allowed that person to poison the well. I want to hear from you. Have you had to deal with a toxic high performer? Did they turn it around? Did you have to make the call? Drop your stories in the comments. I'd love to read them. Thanks.